win their second straight Stanley Cup.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. The Lightning are coming off a big win yesterday at home against Philadelphia. Was it the prettiest? Definitely not, but thanks to Andrei Vasilevskiy standing on his head, we come out with a 2-0 win. So let's go over a little bit of a recap of the past week, where the Lightning stand, and what we have to look forward to in this final month of the NHL season. If you're going to figure it out, now's the time. So as usual, when the Lightning lose a few games in a row, the fan base tends to hyper-react, I guess we'll call it, overreact, we can also call it, to what is occurring. The 5th was when the trades were made for Yanni Gourde and Oliver Bjorkstrand. The 6th, one of the ugliest wins I have seen on home ice for the Tampa Bay Lightning in a long time, but in the end, it is still a 6-5 win against a Buffalo Sabres team, which isn't that good. I get it. There was some frustration coming out of that, obviously from coaches, just a very, very sloppy game. That was the game where Kucherov got benched, and the meme came out of him just sitting on the bench looking disappointed. That's what happened that day. Saturday rolls around. At home, you get shut out 4-0 to the Bruins, who had just traded damn near half their team and their captain. That was a red flag. You get 2 days rest. You lose 4-1 to Carolina, and then you lose in overtime to the Philadelphia Flyers, who are not a good team, in a shootout, actually. That game, no Kucherov, no Vasilevskiy. You still should win it, but I'll take the point, is the positive way of viewing that. So I do understand the frustration up to that point. You know, you bring on 2 big pieces, you give up big picks, and the results don't show immediately. It's frustrating, but this is a process, and once again, there still is a month left in the season to figure this out. Are the guys playing fantastic? I mean, Yanni Gourde, 6 games, 4 assists, with a -1. Bjorkstrand, 6 games, 1 goal, no assists, for a -1. So, not lighting the world on fire. I mean, Yanni Gourde, 4 assists in 6 games. I'll take that, honestly. I will take that from Yanni Gourde at this stage of his career. Bjorkstrand is the one, though, that is completely new to this franchise, completely new to Cooper's system, completely new to all of the players around him. That's the one that's going to be a ramp up, and we need him to be up there come playoff time. Made that big move for a reason, and he was the biggest piece. As much as we love Yanni Gourde, Bjorkstrand's the biggest piece of that trade. But it's not something I'm worried about at this moment. There's no reason to be worried right now. Still getting his feet wet within this system, like I said, getting to know the guys. Cooper trying to figure out which line he fits best on, and that will take time. So, not worried that he only has 1 goal right now through 6 games. And then Yanni Gourde, 4 assists through 6 games. That's decent point production from a guy like him, who is really not here to score a bunch of points. So let's move on to the 6-2 win at Boston, which is a major win for the Lightning, and one of the best defensive performances I've seen in a long time. Only 12 shots on goal total by the Boston Bruins. I imagine it had to be extremely frustrating for Andrei Vasilevskiy, because he's kind of just sitting there waiting for things to happen. You kind of get cold. You're sitting there. A lot of the action's going on the other side of the ice. I mean, it's 40 shots to 12. You're kind of just watching. So he does give up 2 goals on 12 shots, which I know he does not want on his stat sheet, but I understand it given, hey, you're not seeing much action. It happens. 0 shots on goal in the second period to the Lightning's 21. That has to be one of the most impressive periods I've seen in a very long time. One of the most impressive periods ever. Nick Paul scored in that second period from Lilleberg and Gonçalves. Cirelli from McDonough and Gourde. Radish from Lilleberg and Paul. That is an absolute clinic. I think they said on the broadcast last night that was the first time since like 2000 that a team did not get a single shot on goal against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And it wasn't like it was just some fluke period either. I mean, 8, nothing to write home about, and then 4 in the third period when a team's trying to come back. Talk about shutting it down. So that was a huge road win for the Lightning, making sure that they do pick up one of those 3 games. So they come out 3-game road trip with 3 points. Could be better, could be worse. And then you come back home just for 1 game against the Philadelphia Flyers, last night's game. I mean, entertaining game for a game that was basically 1-0. That second goal was Gensel on an empty net. But the action was there. It was physical. I mean, how many hits did? Yeah, 41 hits from the Philadelphia Flyers. It was physical for sure. And honestly, what has been the issue for the Lightning, in my opinion, over this time period, over this last week and a half, has been giveaways. And the giveaways still were not great last night. 18 giveaways to only 5 takeaways for the Lightning. It's something you obviously can't have in the playoffs. It has to be a lot cleaner than that. And I know Cooper harped on it in his press conference, talking about for this upcoming road trip, which we'll get into, how the Lightning have to play a lot better than they did last night, even though it was a win. And that win, of course, is obviously thanks to Andrei Vasilevskiy getting his 6th shutout of the year. The Big Cat is doing Big Cat things, and I cannot wait to see what playoff version Big Cat looks like. We know what it looks like, but it's been a while since we've seen it, and I'm excited for it. That 1 goal did, of course, come from Kucherov picking a man's pocket, one-on-one with the goalie. He finishes that unassisted for his 29th of the year. So where do the Lightning stand right now? Second in the Atlantic Division, right in the thick of things. I think this is the first time they have been in second since November. And hopefully they hold on to that and, even catch that first place position. They are tied with the Maple Leafs, 67 games played, 83 points. Boom, boom, right there. The Panthers do have 68 games played, so both the Lightning and the Leafs have 1 game in hand and 65 points. So basically, if the Lightning and the Leafs were to play tonight and they won, it would be a 3-way tie in this Atlantic Division. That is wild. That is crazy. The fight for this first place, this first seed, is going to be brutal. And it's going to be extremely important because I think all of these teams do not want to play each other. They would much rather play either the Senators or the Rangers. The Senators are on absolute heater right now. I will give them that. 6-game win streak, 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. But I'd rather them than the Panthers or the Leafs. But I mean, it's kind of just like, what is all of the fuss about? The Lightning are, in their last 15 games, 11-3-1. I mean, yeah, they had a stretch of 3 straight losses. But you look at the big picture, 11-3-1 in your last 15. Are there areas of improvement? Yes. Are there still new guys that need to be brought on? Yes. Get their feet wet. Yes, we've talked about this. If anything, that is a positive to me that they are 11-3-1 and there's still plenty of improvements to be made in this final month of the season headed into the playoffs. To me, that's a positive. I get how it can be a negative in the moment, but look at the big picture. So going forward, and that rough West Coast road trip that is coming up, Dallas, that's going to be tough. And then you get a back-to-back Saturday, Sunday, 5 p.m. against Utah, and then 8 p.m. against the Vegas Golden Knights. Another tough opponent right there. Yeah, this is going to be a rough road trip. If they can show us anything during this road trip, I will be extremely satisfied with that. Let's go back to the standings. I know Dallas, 87 points, 66 games played. And then Vegas, of course, leading the Pacific, 86 points, 67 games played. Utah, while they are not up there in terms of standings, go ahead and look at their last 10. They have been pretty well off as of late, 6-2-2. That's not too bad for the Utah Hockey Club. And the fact that it is a Saturday-Sunday back-to-back, we'll probably see JoJo in net against Utah, and then Vasi back in net that Sunday, if I had to assume, against Vegas. So it is not a fun road trip by any means. Because this is a race pretty much at this point, let's take a look at the next 3 games for both Florida and Toronto. First up is Florida. They are at Columbus, borderline playoff team. It's not a walk in the park by any means. At Washington, that'll be tough. Home against Pittsburgh, which, you know, they'll probably handle business there. And as for the Leafs and their next 3 games, they are home against Colorado. That's tough. At New York, wildcard team, tough. And then at Nashville, they should be able to take care of business there. So I definitely think the Lightning have the toughest of the next 3 games, given that they are all on the road, and that does include a back-to-back. So it's a big one. It is a big road trip for sure. On that road trip, we may see Anthony Cirelli secure his first 50-point season in his NHL career. As you can see, he's gotten pretty close. 44 points, 43 points, 45 points. He's at 47 points right now, so he is right on the cusp of that 50-point season, so that would be nice for him. Defensive player, does so much work for this Lightning team on the kill, and he's absolutely deserving of that. That's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Go Bolts, and y'all have a blessed one.